Okay, hello, welcome to anyone watching. I thought I would take you through my back workout from today. Just for some reference, I'm 22. I've been training on and off since I was about 16, 17, so I've got a few years of training under my belt. At this point, I'm kind of just maintaining my physique. Next year, I'm transitioning into boxing, so I'm not going to be weight training as much. But yeah, this is just a basic back routine. Definitely is a good one if you're trying to add mass to your back. Want to add some size, this is the way to go. So I started off with abs. I always start off with abs, just a few sets before I get serious. And then with back, any exercise that I'm doing throughout, like no matter what session I'm doing, I will always start with pull-ups. Just because it saves me having to warm up. Because it's a bodyweight exercise, I can just jump in and straight away start doing pull-ups. And then when I go to do something heavier, my back's already warm. So with pull-ups, the best way to go about it, I would say, is to avoid going to failure. So if I could do 10 reps, 12 reps, I'm only going to do 6 or 7, you know. Keep that threshold really low, because as soon as you start maxing out, especially if it's the first exercise of the day, if you're going to max out on pull-ups, everything else is just going to go to shit. So my best advice would be, if you could do 10, do half of that, do 5 per set. And by the time you're done, you know, do 2-3 sets, you'll be ready to jump into rows or deadlifts with a little bit of a leg warm-up. You'll be good to go. So that's why I always recommend doing pull-ups before deadlifts. Okay, and then starting off with deadlifts, this is the way I do it. I just pyramid my way up. So I always start on 60 kilograms and I'll work my way up from there. I really do like deadlifts, and obviously you could do it on a leg day. I have nothing against doing deadlifts for legs. It just, to me, it just always seems to fit in better on back. So the way I do it is one of my back days in the week, I will do deadlifts, and then the other day will be barbell rows. So today was the deadlift day. I'm supposed to be working up to 160 kilograms for three sets of 3 reps, but I think I only did 2 today, and then there was a few people around me watching, so I tried to show off and I went for a single on 180, which actually moved pretty well, so I was quite happy with that. Obviously I've done more in the past, but yeah, like I said, at the moment I don't really push too hard in the gym. Kind of keep it at a comfortable level these days, just because it's not my priority. So yeah, getting a bit heavier on the deadlifts. You'll see as I start to go heavy, I use alternate grip. This is something that, funnily enough, I don't recommend doing, even though I do it myself. I don't think it's the best way and the safest way to be deadlifting. I think if you can do over, that's ideal, like with a bit of chalk, that works best. And then if you have to use straps, like over here, I switched to straps just because it didn't feel really good on my bicep. And then these are something that I picked up very early in my lifting career. I think like chest supported rows with the dumbbells. To me, it's just so much better than single arm rows. So if you've never tried them before, give them a try. I don't think my brother's tried them and I don't think he likes them, so they're definitely not for everyone. But for me, I just feel the squeeze so much better, and I prefer them. So yeah, I'll do a couple sets of these. The thing with me, like at the moment, and my training is, while I still love the gym and I like spending time in the gym, I've been doing it for such a long time now that it's kind of lost its magic, which is why I want to transition into fighting. So that obviously I'll still weight train, you know, 3-4 days of the week, but not every single day I'll be, you know, lifting weights. There'll be some days when I'll be working on the bag, some days I'll be sparring. So I want to switch things up a bit. I think it's easy for things to get stagnant in life and for you to just kind of end up doing the same thing day in, day out. Moving on. So I think this would be my last exercise for back. And as you can see, I'm using the close grip. I got 2 handles And the reason why you see me going close here is because if you remember in the beginning of the session, I was doing wide grip pull-ups. So if there's one essential part of trying to grow a bigger back, I would say it is switching up your grip and switching up your movements, because your back is such a large muscle and there's so many smaller muscle groups within your back that if you're going to go in and do the exact same exercise from the exact same angle with the exact same grip every single week, you're only doing damage to yourself. So what I always recommend doing is switching up your grip and switching up your exercises when it comes to back quite frequently. So for example, like for today, you see I'm doing double-handed close grip pull downs. And then next week what I would do is maybe go to the machine and do a single-handed version. You know, like always be switching up my grip. Maybe do something with like a supinated grip the next time I come in. So there's different ways that you can target your back. And I think hitting it from different angles is so important when it comes to trying to grow a bigger back. Yeah, the interesting thing about like weight training and, you know, growing your physique, it's just such an important part to life. And I think like it's such a growing community of weightlifters. Like when I go into the gym, there's people from every age and every background. It's such a good sight to see, because I remember a couple of years ago when I first started training, it was pretty much just men who would train, you know, like it would be like guys like in their late 20s in the gym. And like slowly as time went on, now I see like girls in the gym, I see young teenagers in the gym, and it's good to see that it's a growing community. Anyway, so moving on to this, I'm doing some rear delt training. I think this is such an underrated movement, and you should include it in every back day. Like, I cannot believe the results I've seen in my shoulders since I started training rear delts. It's only been about a year of me consistently training them, and my shoulders are just so much more capped than they ever were. It makes such a difference when you actively train your rear delts. Anyway, so yeah, a little bit more of that, you know. Again, you could do things like face pulls for this, and this is something that you should rotate in between. You could do face pulls, you could do reverse pec decks. It's all the same sort of idea, you know, hitting your upper traps and hitting your rear delts and some of those upper back muscles. And then when it comes to bicep training, I honestly hate training biceps. It's just, I've never enjoyed it. So I tend to just do like heavy hammer curls, or sometimes I'll do like a heavy barbell curl or dumbbell curl. Again, this is something that I switch up, but I don't take training arms very seriously, especially biceps. I kind of feel like I get so much work from just doing like a back workout in general that by the time it comes to hitting biceps, they're fried. So when it comes to biceps, I generally do very basic movements. And that's a corresponding theme throughout all my workouts, is you'll see they're very basic. I'm not a fan of like doing fancy exercises. I do what works and what has proven itself to work and what feels good. And that's it. I do it hard. I train hard. I train for an hour and I go home. But I don't see the point of like having to do 50 exercises to accomplish something. It's just unnecessary and a bit overkill. So I like to keep things really simple.